the other one, boys, to keep an eye on that I got some very, very good mail on was that Charlie Curnow had instructed his management to reach out to
It's on Charlie, Graham. Can you sort of tell us what the latest is there with him?
Hi, welcome to another Charlie Curnow update here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. I'm going to run you through a series of events since the last time a Charlie Curnow video appeared on this channel. So the last time we spoke about this scenario, which is ongoing, was the Tom Papley response. So that's fine. We've heard from the Sydney position. There's a new player in the game, and that is Geelong. So the reason why I'm even making this video, so it starts with this audio, and it was Mick Ablett talking about Charlie Curnow and his supposed mail.
The other one, boys, to keep an eye on that I got some very, very good mail on was that Charlie Curnow had instructed his management to reach out to the Geelong Football Club and to try and get a deal done to move to the Cats. So keep an eye on that.
How on earth would they go with Charlie Curnow up there? They've already got Jeremy Cameron, they've already got Shannon Neal, and throw Charlie Curnow up there. The Cats have been up for a long time. I mean, that begs the question, doesn't it, whether it's trades or free agency. Some of these clubs just continue to get stronger and others lose key personnel every second season.
Yeah, you're right. Look, it is interesting. I mean, Charlie Curnow's a Geelong boy. He originally played at the Geelong Falcons, so he certainly got some links down in that neck of the woods. But look, it'd take something massive. I don't think Geelong have got a great deal of chips to go all in for Charlie Curnow, whether Carlton will potentially ask for a Connor O'Sullivan or someone like that in return. So it's going to get interesting, boys, to see what they can do. I don't think it'll be a salary cap issue for the Cats, but it's just a matter of what chips they can move that might be of interest to Carlton without obviously destroying the fabric of what they've created within that group. But just one to keep an eye on.
All right, there we go.
It's interesting to see how, I don't know if this is a rumour, I don't know how true it is. I'm not going to discount any mail anymore because, to be honest, when I first heard about this Charlie Curnow situation, I thought, no way. Also, Charlie made it really clear that he wanted to stay, yada, yada, you get it. So then we get to a discussion on SEN between Sam Edmund and Jared Healy.
He's been told...
It's not happening.
Yeah. And you're almost certainly staying. He knows that. The Blues believe he's prepared for that and that he will be fine if so. He's not, I don't believe, a militant toys out of the cot sort of a player. He's off surfing somewhere at the moment. I think that...
He's in New York, isn't he?
Oh, I think he was initially. I think now he's taken the board somewhere.
There.
The fact that he told the Blues he was open to a trade didn't shock them, though. They were prepared for it. And this, in many ways, is Christian Petrarca reincarnated.
Yeah.
I mean, Petrarca made clear he wanted out 12 months ago in his exit meeting. Curnow raised it in his. In both, it's very difficult to see how a trade gets done. Petrarca contract until 2029. Curnow contract until 2029. Petrarca on big money. Curnow on big money. So in many ways, same management stable. In many ways, it's history repeating. And now you're seeing the management behind the scenes just frantically, we heard from Tom Papley, frantically trying to work a scenario that might just tempt the Blues enough to do it. But I tell you, it's going to have to be something absolutely huge for the Blues to be tempted.
Give me outside
what
of
club first?
Geelong.
Well, they're going to need a prime ball mover. They're going to need one of Holmes.
Bailey Smith's not going, and
No.
Holmes is not going.
Well, why? That's what Carlton will ask for. Holmes.
Yeah,
Holmes and Shannon Neal.
Holmes away.
Mm.
No, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
No.
No, that's why it's so hard to see it happen.
Often with these things, you need a third club involved, and that's why people are, suggesting that maybe Jed Walter may unlock something, but only if Charlie Curnow goes to the Gold Coast. Now, the question is...
I don't think the Jed Walter thing has...
Any legs?
No.
No, I don't think so either.
Speaking of people today, I think that... Look, who knows what's going to happen? As it stands, I don't think that's a name that's going to trouble us in the Curnow exchange.
So again, nothing new there, but it's interesting to see how names start popping up from the start of a rumour, and then when supposed names start popping up and how they become part of the narrative. So then a really interesting response here. This is by Shannon Neal himself, and this came via Channel 7 News.
Star catch Shannon Neal has laughed off trade speculation involving him and Star Blue Charlie Curnow. But Neal says if the two-time Coleman medalist wanted to move down the highway, he'd be welcomed with open arms.
You'd excuse some forwards for breaking into a cold sweat when the head of football fast approaches.
Andrew Mackie came up to me and just sort of said, mate, I want you to know you're not going anywhere. I sort of didn't really know what he was talking about at the time, and then sort of realised after, so it was sort of good in a way. I was like, oh, thanks. And I walked away. I was so puzzled. And then sort of later figured out what he was talking about. So it was good to get the clarity before I even knew about it.
While a move getting Charlie Curnow closer to his Torquay roots seems unlikely, Neal says he'd embrace his addition.
Yeah, it'd be great. Healthy competition within the forward line. But obviously he's an absolute gun player. He's a superstar. He's, correct me if I'm wrong, two-time Coleman medalist.
Okay, so mail, rumour, follow-up conversation on SEN and how a potential deal gets done, which really is all hypothetical, followed by the response by Shannon Neal himself. Pretty straightforward there. And then recapped here on Gettable by Cal Toomey and Riley Beveridge, just around the interest in Charlie Curnow, which is no secret to anybody, and who will actually have the capital to put together an offer worth considering.
What about Charlie Curnow? Another one contracted till 2029. As we've said right the way through, he's been flirting with a move all the way through this year. We know Sydney, Gold Coast and Geelong, the clubs who are keen on Charlie Curnow. How does it happen though, Kel?
Well, the signature is the shackle here. And this is the point where we talk about long-term deals and what it means for the player and what it means for the club. Yes, it provides the security for the player, but it also is a shackle if you want to move down the track. So in an ordinary world, he'd be in his 10th year, an unrestricted free agent, be able to walk to wherever he wants without even a second conversation. The difference between Curnow and Merritt is that Curnow, 6 weeks out from the season ending, made it clear that he wanted to move. Then on exit interview day, said, I want to be traded. So this is a little bit different to what Zach Merritt's going through, and that's why it is a situation that's different. Sydney remains in it for me. I think they'll be the club that in the end pushes hardest and longest to get a deal done. Carlton want good players if they're going to be involved in a deal, and that to me opens the door slightly. I think it opens the door to, okay, well, what's it going to be? You have to think about it at this point. Geelong, of course, is keen, and Gold Coast are looking at how they can do it, if at all. But Jed Walters, obviously a name that's been mentioned. They've had an offer to Jed Walters to extend over a long period of time now. I expect that offer to be revised and updated soon as well as they push to re-sign him beyond the end of next year and take him out of this conversation. But the economy of trading contracted players has become different. And this is a dual Coleman medalist, a star of the competition, and no club is saying, let's have him. It's a funny situation.
I think what makes this one fascinating is, as you touched on there, Carlton's been adamant that it wants genuine top liners, not just any players, top liners in return for Charlie Curnow. So the question for the likes of Sydney, Gold Coast and Geelong, if they do want to bring a Charlie Curnow into the football club, is how do we add to what we've got without getting rid of a top liner as well?
So the other name that's been floated around here is Jed Walter. It is suggested that Gold Coast actually have the best of anyone in terms of capital and options for an offer for Charlie Curnow. The debate has then, sort of circled into, okay, well, why would Gold Coast give up Jed Walter, who's been part of their academy and he's been in their system for over a decade. They've been tracking him for a very long time, and he's very young and he's developing. And then the other end of the conversation goes, well, if Gold Coast are in the window now, Charlie can help them win now. Carlton would want a player that they can build for the future. So that conversation has bubbled there. So as it stands right now, you got Sydney. It seems to be at the top of the tree. Then you've got Gold Coast, who seem to have the capital to maybe get this done. But then this Geelong story. Now, whether you believe this or not, that's on you. And we'll just play this one out day by day as it comes and as the updates filter through. But yeah, this video starts with an alleged request from Charlie Curnow via his management to see what Geelong can do. And that's where Connor O'Sullivan's name gets thrown into the conversation. That's where Shannon Neal's name gets thrown into the conversation. And that's how it's bubbled. So that's the update this week. Now, we also just got an update from Graham Wright, Carlton's brand new CEO, around Charlie Curnow, and his position was pretty clear.
On Charlie, Graham, can you sort of tell us what the latest is there with him?
Yeah, I think we've been very clear from the start that Charlie's a required player, contracted player for the next 4 years, and we want to see him finish his career here. It's been a big 12 months for Charlie. He's had 2 or 3 operations across that period of time. He's away on leave at the moment. We're expecting him back in the next couple of weeks prior to the best and fairest, and he'll be a Carlton player going forward.
So there you have it. The discussion continues. The club's position is reaffirmed. Will the noise go away? I doubt it. But again, it's been made really clear that Charlie is staying from the Carlton side of things. All in all, not much movement. Not much has changed. Charlie's apparently a required player at Carlton. We've gone through the debates around, does he want to leave? Does he not? I think we've all come to terms with the fact that he would like to leave Carlton. And now we're looking around at how the landscape of the offers will come. And if the offer is not good enough, then he will stay, which then breaks into that other conversation which we had on Friday on the fan cams around, well, hang on, why would we want to have someone who doesn't want to be there when we're trying to do this Carlton first mentality? So fascinating how this story continues to develop. I do wonder if there is a way in which the noise will just stop. I don't even think a statement from the club or from Charlie at this point stops the noise. I think we're in such deep water with this story that it's only really going to end at the, after the final day of trade period, where we know for certain that he's going to be playing next year for Carlton or not. And that, no doubt, will give, I think, a different viewpoint on long-term contracts. Like, what do they even really mean? If you sign them and then a couple of years later things happen and you want to get out, like what does that even mean? What does that even do for it? There is another bubbling issue, which is the power of the player managers in the landscape. And I think that is something that'll be addressed or need to be addressed by the AFL. Maybe the rules around player movement need to continue to be looked at. At the end of the day, I think the players want this. The players ultimately want the freedom to play wherever they want to play. Clubs, particularly clubs that sign players to long-term deals, want the ability to have leverage or, power and control and leverage in a situation where a player does want to get out after they've signed a long-term deal. So that's the update. Geelong is now in the ring. So we have Geelong, Gold Coast, Sydney, who seem to be the 3 popular suitors for a potential Charlie Curnow deal. What do you think about what you've seen here? I will have more updates as they come through, and we'll go from there.